Yeah, I'll headbutt his foot. I'll kick it. You know what I mean? I'm not that Tommy guy. Tommy's all pulling that because of a head kick. That's what I'm trying to say. We're built different. It's what we do. I ain't pulling out like Tommy, bro, and let my dad hold my hand. Do you know what I mean? All that nonsense.
Hello and welcome back to Misfits News. And today we have an absolutely fantastic episode coming up for you as we will be facing off the co-main event that will be going live on Manchester, March 29th. Darren the Gorilla Till versus Darren the Dentist Stewart. The battle for Darren's two fantastic MMA fighters. We had Darren Till not long ago in Manchester take on the main event, Anthony Taylor, and put on a fantastic display. However, this time around, he has gone up an opponent and he's going against another UFC veteran within Darren Stewart. These two have a history. These two are looking to now settle it in the ring. It's going to be an absolutely fireworks face off as it always is. So let's welcome them in. How are we both doing today for today's face off?
Yes, very well. Thank you. Thank you.
It's good to have you on, Darren. It's good to see you again, Darren Stewart. Last time out, we were meant to have a face off. We've made it happen this time. Darren Till, I want to come to you quickly. What was your thoughts on that episode that we did and some of the words that were said?
Uh, I I think at first, I don't know. I think when I watched it again, I think Darren was just hyping it, but I was just a bit shocked that
I
he
get
was
it.
saying he was saying I was scared and that because you know I don't know, it's just a bit weird, but it's okay.
Do you still maintain that thought process of potentially Darren Till was scared in
If,
that scenario, or was that just
if you
lead
watch,
up?
but I told Darren, if you watch the whole interview, yeah, I've known Darren for a long time. I think I met him twice. I fought on two cards with him. Always been respectful. And then they were like, sell the fight. But if you watch the interview, I did say that he's probably training because when you lot told me to jump on, I was stuck in traffic. Do you know what I mean? So like, I would if I said I don't do it, I'm not gonna make it. I would have made it, but I was stuck in traffic. I said, let's do it now. But obviously, the delay was waiting for him. Do you know what I mean? And then ended up getting home on time. But yeah, man, just sell the fight, man.
I sort of want to throw a question to you, Darren Till. How was this fight then put together? You had a great display against Anthony Taylor. You've come into Misfits, and now you're going in for your second fight. Believe this is
Yeah,
back-to-back events now for Misfits. So, how did this
yeah.
get presented to you?
Not many people wanted to take the fight. It was obviously Tommy was always meant to fight, but then I think he obviously knew on the grapevine how I was performing in the gym and that. And then it comes down to two names. It comes down to Darren Stewart and Hasim Jr. So Hasim's not that much of a bigger name than Darren. I thought it was obviously we go for Darren, but most of the guys that got put forward to declined. Obviously, Darren's willing to fight anyone at any time, so obviously we knew he'd
We're
accept.
built for this. We're MMA fighters. We're built for this.
Yeah,
Let
yeah,
him repeat that again. Let him repeat that again, bro.
yeah,
The guy ain't got
yeah,
the same as me. I got some sort of name. Tell these
yeah.
guys. Repeat
No,
it.
yeah,
Well, Darren the dentist, now I'm going to throw it to you. Obviously, you're in the gym. It looks like you put a lot of work in. I can see a lot of energy coming through you as well. How are
Yeah.
you preparing for this fight against someone like Darren Till?
Trying to get tall guys with long ass arms, southpaws, and just doing loads of rounds. And people with good technique. Do you know what I mean? So that's how I'm preparing for this fight. Nothing else I can do is two hands. I ain't gonna worry about kicks, elbows, takedowns. Me and Darren been in that same situation when MMA is draining. For once, I get to fight with just my hands. I've always wanted to box, and I get it. The world don't know, Darren don't know, no one's seen me strike. You know what I mean? I wanted to box before I done MMA. I think I told you guys last time, innit? I wanted to box before I done MMA. I never got a chance to, and no one took me in. And then MMA just got draining. I retired from MMA. I thought, before I die, let me just try and box. And I finally got a fight. So thank you, Dar, for picking me. I can say, you know what? I've done it. I've had a boxing match. And people will see it. All right, you know what? The dentist can box. Because I get it. Like my cousin would say, if you don't know, you don't know. Do you understand? So how I prepare for this fight is just getting people with similar styles with Darren. But I'm not naive. I know that you can prepare for someone. When you're in there, it's different. Do you know what I
yeah,
mean? I'm going to do the best I can. Do you know what I mean? So
yeah.
Darren, when you look at obviously taking this fight on, do you believe this is going to be a greater challenge than it was with Anthony Taylor?
Uh, I think in terms of Darren being stronger and tougher, yeah. I think Anthony maybe a little bit because of the experience, a bit of a probably better boxer. I don't know for sure, but Anthony was just awkward because he was so small and stuff. So I had to change it up, obviously, from the left to the uppercut. But I think with Dan, he's obviously stronger. He's obviously fought at a higher level than Anthony all his life. So I think, I think Darren obviously has got a good chin as well, so it'd be quite hard to obviously knock him out if I catch him, But
What? Anthony, you're hearing this? You're next, you little midget. You don't want to fight. You're next. And so I know this is our thing, but Anthony, you're next, you little yellow page. You're gonna get it. You know what I mean? Go on, Karen, sorry, go on, Karen.
I
Sorry,
think that'd be a good fight, yeah. But yeah, just Darren's different to Anthony. Obviously, Darren's more like Tommy would have been to fight Tommy. Bigger opponents, probably easier to. That's the problem with these small people, that they're so hard to catch. So obviously, like me and Darren, bigger targets, sort of. Do you know what I'm saying? But yeah, I'm. It's 5 weeks away. It's gonna be a good clash. It's gonna be a good event, to be honest.
A lot of people, when obviously we published that first video and I looked over at the comments, etc., they still do maintain you as the current underdog. How do you feel about that?
I'm used to it, man. I'm used to it. Always been an underdog in UFC. I'm used to it, man. I've been flying abroad. I've fought in America and Brazil. People shouting boo, boo, boo. Like I'm used to being an underdog. Do you know what I mean? I don't want to be liked. Too much pressure being liked.
What are you going to bring that's different to Anthony Taylor to this fight? What are you going to do that's going to cause Darren Till issues?
I'm gonna bring pressure to Darren in it. Do you know what I mean? 'Cause I think Anthony Taylor tried to pressure, but I don't know. You can't do it like me. I'm good at pressuring. You know what I mean, that's what I'm going on for. I've got hands. I want to show Darren. I want to show Misfits. I want to show the world that I can box. You know what I mean? I don't do the Mayweather slipping, all that stuff. You know what I mean? But I can box in it. I'm known for my striking. So what I'm gonna bring to the table is just pressure, pressure.
Till, how are you going to negate that? How are you going to make sure that you come out of this fight again winning and going on to potentially fighting those Jake Pauls and KSIs?
I'm good at controlling pace, making people react to feints, and counter punch. I've always been a good counter, but even in the UFC, even with the current UFC middleweight champion, I just had him sweet on his feet. I've never been in a problem in the striking department. But yeah, as I say, when you get that and he's tough, strong, brings a lot of pressure. So gotta be prepared for it. But as I say, I am elite in the terms of striking now. So I'll try and use that to my advantage, and hopefully it'll work. And be a good dogfight, as I say. Be tough to knock a guy like that out. He's a tough guy. So I'm expecting the full 8 rounds, and that's always good as well.
Thank you.
Yeah.
We spoke about this previously on our last episode, but I want you to talk about it while Darren Till is here as well. Why did you make this move into boxing? Obviously, you had that UFC career that was short-lived. However, you then transitioned into boxing now. You said you want to prove to people about your hands, but why Misfits Boxing? Why this platform?
Why? The same way as Darren, man. I've had enough MMA. It's draining. It's long, man. We want to strike, and people are just sniffing your balls and shit like that. And then, like you're against the cage and nothing's happening, and you're losing, and you're on your back, and someone's like got you on your back like a bitch, and you can't do nothing, but they're winning because you're on your back. It's just long, man. And then if you're not the favorite, if it goes to decision, you're losing, and I just want to just cross over to have fun.
I do feel like I have to ask the question that if you guys were to have fought in MMA, especially in the UFC, who would have won?
Oh, fuck yeah. No,
I saw the opportunity. I had to do it.
Watch this guy chop this shit up. I don't know if Darren Till was working more on his grappling as well. I know we both fought, trained with Hamza. Do you know what I mean? That guy is a machine. You know what I'm saying? So I would have just had to just grapple Darren and avoid his striking. That's what I have to do if I was to fight Darren. You never know.
You're saying you would have won that fight?
Look at you, trying it. All right, Darren, you hearing this? I want my witness. You know what? Go on, I'll say yeah while he's here. Yeah, I would have won that fight.
Darren, how would have that fight gone if you had fought in the UFC?
I think, obviously, without being thingo, I got to the higher level in both weight of it, like even middleweight. Obviously, my fights, the fighters I fought, Robert Whittaker, Gaslam, and Dricus and stuff like that. So obviously, on paper, it looks like I'd have won just in terms of who I fought and who I beat and lost to and level. But as you say, you don't know coming up against these fights. It's just sometimes a toss up.
Well then, Darren, I've only got a few more questions before we wrap up because it's very respectful and I love it.
Whoa. How come you never said to him, what are you saying, Darren, you would have won? Oh,
so Darren, are you saying you would have won?
Yeah.
Are you saying you would have won?
On paper, I would have
right.
won. Do you know what I mean? But I don't, one of them, innit?
Do you believe knocking out Darren Till would be one of the biggest moments of your career if you were able to make that happen up in Manchester?
Of course it would be. He already said he's got a bigger name than me. All right, he knocks out Darren Stewart. Ooh, the fans be like, oh, yeah, I knew it. You know what I mean? But me knocking him out, it's like, wow, okay, Darren Stewart was something. Do you know what I'm saying? So it will put me up there.
And how are you going to make that into a reality?
To put pressure on him and try and knock him out. What else is there to do? It's just hands in it. You know what I mean? I can't choke him or nothing like that. I'll take him down. You know what I mean? Just try and knock him out.
Well, Darren may throw a kick, apparently.
Yeah, I'll headbutt his foot. I'll kick it. You know what I mean? I'm not that Tommy guy. Tommy's pulling that because of a head kick. That's what I'm trying to say. We're built different. It's what we do. I ain't pulling that like Tommy, bro, and let my dad hold my hand. Do you know what I mean? All that nonsense.
Now, final thing I've got for you both before we wrap up. Darren Till, I'll come to you this time first and then Darren Stewart. What's your final words to your opponent before we go into fight week?
I'm coming for war as always. I love a good war, love a good fight. So I'm obviously just going to put it on Dan as much as I can and obviously search for pain and a knockout and if I can, put him in deep, deep waters. And then obviously, that's what I'm coming to do, as always, as I've always done in my career.
Now, Darren Stewart, to sign off the episode, if you send your final message to Darren Till before we meet in fight week.
I love deep waters, man, and I'm going to bring the pressure as well, man. We're going to clash. We have to clash, innit? Do you know what I mean? We're fighters, innit? So that's all we do. We just clash.
You heard it there first. Pressure makes diamonds, and both these fighters are looking to make a statement on the March 29th card. KSI versus Dylan Dennis. The pay-per-views are live. Make sure you're getting your tickets to go there, and we will see you very soon.